The constant barrage of thoughts, did I make the right decision? Why am I not good enough? What if I fail? It's a relentless cycle of self-doubt and anxiety, leaving us feeling trapped and exhausted. If you're nodding along, know that you're not alone. Millions grapple with this daily, their minds a battleground of worry and criticism. It's a heavy burden to carry, but what if I told you there's a way out? A way to silence those nagging voices, break free from the worry trap, and discover a sense of calm you never thought possible. Let's look into the heart of this struggle, the worry trap. It's that endless loop of what ifs and worst-case scenarios that play on repeat in our minds. This isn't just an annoyance, it has real consequences. Stress hormones flood our system, impacting our sleep, health, and even our relationships. Think of it as a dark cloud that follows you around, casting a shadow over everything you do. It's exhausting, isn't it? Our brains are wired to scan for threats, a survival mechanism from our ancestors. But in the modern world, these threats often aren't saber-toothed tigers, but rather deadlines, social pressures, or our perceived shortcomings. This constant state of alertness keeps us trapped in a cycle of worry, making it difficult to relax and enjoy the present moment. The more we worry, the more our brains reinforce these neural pathways, making it even harder to escape. We're not powerless against this worry trap. By understanding how it works, we can start to dismantle it. Imagine your mind as a garden. Worry is like weeds that have overgrown, choking out the beautiful flowers of peace and contentment. Weddings take time and effort, but with the right tools, we can clear the way for new growth. And the tools I'm talking about are surprisingly simple, yet incredibly powerful. They don't require superhuman willpower or years of training. In fact, you might be surprised at just how easy it can be to cultivate a calm, worry-free mind. Now let's open up one of the most powerful tools in our arsenal, mindfulness. This ancient practice has gained immense popularity in recent years, and for good reason. It's not about emptying your mind or chanting mantras on a mountaintop. It's simply about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about noticing the sights, sounds, sensations, and thoughts that arise without getting caught up in them. Think of it as hitting the pause button on your life's chaotic soundtrack. It's a chance to step back, observe your thoughts and feelings, and choose how you want to respond rather than reacting on autopilot. When we practice mindfulness, we create space between ourselves and our worries. We learn to see them as passing clouds in the sky of our consciousness rather than permanent fixtures. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. Let's try a quick exercise together. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the feeling of the air entering and leaving your nostrils. Pay attention to any sounds you hear, whether it's the hum of the refrigerator or the chirping of birds outside. Now bring your attention to your body. Notice any sensations you feel, whether it's the pressure of your feet on the floor or the gentle touch of your clothes on your skin. If any thoughts arise, simply acknowledge them and let them go like leaves floating down a stream. Stay with this awareness for a few more moments, then gently open your eyes. That was a very brief taste of mindfulness, but even a few minutes of practice can make a difference. The more we practice, the easier it becomes to access this calm, centered state. And when we're in that state, worry has a harder time taking hold, but mindfulness is just one piece of the puzzle. Another crucial aspect of breaking free from the worry trap is learning to silence that inner critic, that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, smart enough, or thin enough. We all have one, and it can be incredibly destructive. The inner critic thrives on negativity, constantly pointing out our flaws and mistakes. It can make us feel insecure, anxious, and even ashamed. But here's the thing, it's not our true voice. It's a learned pattern of thinking that we've internalized over time. The good news is that we can unlearn these patterns and rewrite the script. the first step is to become aware of how your inner critic operates. What kind of language does it use? What situations trigger it? Once you start paying attention, you'll be surprised at how often it shows up. But awareness is only the beginning. We need to actively challenge these negative thoughts and replace them with positive, empowering ones. Instead of "I'm not good enough," try "I'm learning and growing every day." And instead of "I always mess things up," try "I'm capable of making mistakes and learning from them." These might sound like simple affirmations, but their impact can be profound. By repeating them to ourselves, we start to rewire our brains, creating new neural pathways that support a more positive self-image. Of course, this takes time and effort, but it's worth it. When we silence our inner critic, we free ourselves from its constant judgment and open the door to a more peaceful, joyful life. This is just the beginning of our journey towards a worry-free life. Now that we've explored mindfulness and silencing the inner critic, let's dive into the worry detox. It's time to clear out those mental cobwebs and create a space where calm can flourish. Think of this as a spring cleaning for your mind. We're going to declutter those anxieties and replace them with habits that promote peace and well-being. And don't worry, this isn't about drastic changes or strict regimens. It's about incorporating small, manageable steps that make a big difference over time. First and foremost, let's revisit the power of mindfulness. We already touched on it earlier, but it's worth emphasizing its role in this detox process. By focusing on the present moment, we break free from the grip of past regrets and future anxieties. We learn to appreciate the simple joys of life, whether it's the warmth of the sun on our skin or the taste of our morning coffee. It's about savoring each experience rather than rushing through it with our minds on overdrive. Next, let's identify your worry triggers. What situations or thoughts tend to send you into a spiral of anxiety? Once you know what sets you off, you can start to anticipate them and develop coping mechanisms. Perhaps it's a certain work project or a social event. By recognizing these triggers, you can plan ahead, practice relaxation techniques, or even avoid those situations altogether if possible. Gratitude is another powerful tool in our worry detox kit. When we focus on what we're thankful for, it shifts our attention away from negativity and towards abundance. It doesn't mean ignoring the challenges in our lives, but rather choosing to see the good alongside the bad. Try keeping a gratitude journal or simply taking a few minutes each day to reflect on the things you appreciate. You might be surprised at how quickly this simple practice can lift your spirits and reduce your worries. Let's explore some relaxation techniques. These can be as simple as deep breathing exercises or progressive muscle relaxation, or as involved as yoga or meditation. The key is to find what works for you and make it a regular part of your routine. Even a few minutes of relaxation each day can significantly reduce stress and promote a sense of calm. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Effortless calm, is that even possible? And the answer is a resounding yes, but it's important to understand what effortless calm truly means. It doesn't mean being happy all the time or never experiencing negative emotions. It's about cultivating a sense of inner peace that allows us to weather life's storms with grace and resilience. One of the biggest misconceptions about calm is that it's about suppressing our emotions, but that's simply not true. In fact, trying to bottle up our feelings can actually make things worse. Effortless calm is about accepting our emotions, both positive and negative, without letting them control us. And it's about recognizing that feelings are temporary and that they don't define who we are. It's a shift in mindset, a way of relating to our thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them. Imagine yourself as a surfer riding the waves of your emotions. You don't try to stop the waves, but you also don't let them knock you off your board. You learn to navigate them with skill and grace, maintaining your balance even when things get choppy. This kind of effortless calm comes from a place of acceptance and letting go. We stop fighting against our experiences and instead allow them to be. This doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means recognizing that we can't control everything, but we can control how we respond. When we surrender to the present moment, we open ourselves up to a deeper sense of peace and well-being. It's like releasing a tight grip and allowing ourselves to float on the current of life. Of course, effortless calm isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time and practice to cultivate this mindset, but there are things we can do to build resilience and make it easier to access that calm center. One important aspect is developing healthy habits. This might include getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, exercising regularly, and spending time in nature. These practices not only support our physical health, but also have a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being. When we take care of ourselves, we're better equipped to handle stress and challenges. We become like a tree with deep roots, able to withstand the strongest winds without being uprooted. But what about those moments when stress hits us unexpectedly, when worry creeps in and threatens to derail our hard-earned calm? That's where quick fixes for instant stress relief come in handy. These are like little life rafts we can grab onto when we feel ourselves starting to sink. One of the simplest and most effective techniques is deep breathing. When we're stressed, our breath tends to become shallow and rapid. By consciously slowing down our breath and taking deep belly breaths, we send a signal to our nervous system to relax. It's like hitting the reset button on our stress response. Another quick fix is sensory grounding. This involves focusing on our senses to bring us back to the present moment. One popular technique is the 5-4-3-2-1 method. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This simple exercise can quickly shift our attention away from worry and towards the here and now. Humor is also a surprisingly effective stress reliever. When we laugh, our bodies release endorphins, which have mood-boosting and pain-relieving effects. So, next time you're feeling overwhelmed, try watching a funny video, reading a comic strip, or sharing a joke with a friend. Laughter truly is the best medicine. These are just a few examples of quick fixes for instant stress relief. The key is to find what works for you and have a few go-to techniques ready to use when you need them. Think of these techniques as your emotional first aid kit, always ready to soothe and restore. But don't just take my word for it. Countless individuals have experienced remarkable transformations by implementing these simple strategies. People who once felt overwhelmed by worry and self-doubt have found a renewed sense of calm and confidence. They've learned to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience, accepting a more positive and fulfilling way of being. You might be wondering, can I really transform my mindset in just 5 minutes? The answer is yes, and here's how. Let's recap the key takeaways from our journey so far. We've explored the worry trap and its impact on our well-being. We've discovered the power of mindfulness to anchor us in the present moment. We've learned how to silence our inner critic and cultivate a more positive self-image. We've started on a worry detox, replacing anxiety with gratitude and relaxation. And we've accepted the concept of effortless calm, learning to accept our emotions and navigate life's ups and downs with grace. Now I invite you to choose one of these techniques that resonates with you the most. Maybe it's mindfulness, perhaps it's challenging your inner critic, or perhaps it's practicing gratitude. Whatever it is, commit to practicing it for just 5 minutes a day. Set a timer, find a quiet space, and fully immerse yourself in the practice. You might be surprised at how quickly you start to notice a difference in your mood and overall well-being. 5 minutes might not seem like much, but it's a powerful starting point. It's a small investment that can yield significant returns. Think of it as planting a seed of calm in the garden of your mind. With consistent nurturing, that seed will grow into a flourishing tree, providing shade and shelter from the storms of worry and self-doubt. Remember, transformation is a journey, not a destination. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone, but the rewards are immeasurable. By investing in your mental and emotional well-being, you're not only improving your own life, but also the lives of those around you. Your newfound calm and resilience will radiate outward, inspiring others and creating a ripple effect of positivity. And that's what makes this journey so worthwhile. It's not just about personal growth, it's about contributing to a more peaceful and compassionate world. If you find this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more tips on cultivating a calm mind, and share this with anyone you know who could use a little more peace in their life.